In 2004, Boeing shut down the 757 line because airlines stopped buying it. 22 years later, 525 are still flying, and nothing can replace them. A narrow body that departs 6,200-foot runways, crosses the Atlantic on 2 engines, and seats 228 passengers in a single aisle. That combination was not supposed to exist in one airframe, and the reason it did explains why the gap has never been filled. The Boeing 757 was engineered to do what most aircraft could not: unite short runway performance, transatlantic range, and single aisle capacity in one airframe. Certified to depart from runways as short as 6,200 feet at maximum takeoff weight, the 757 could launch fully loaded from airports that left other jets behind. This number is not a marketing flourish. It is rooted in the aircraft's type certificate and real-world dispatch manuals. Field performance tables used by operators like Delta and Icelandair confirm that the 757-200 can safely lift off from Burbank or Keflavik with a full passenger and fuel load, even when the available runway is barely more than 6,200 feet. This capability comes from a careful balance of wing design and power. The 757 wing features a high-lift, double-slotted flap system and relatively low wing loading, allowing for steep climb gradients and short ground rolls. Its thrust-to-weight ratio, up to 0.30, means engines deliver the muscle needed for quick acceleration and safe departures, even on hot days or at high altitudes. These technical choices were not just for show, they were the only way to give airlines the flexibility to serve secondary airports and thinner routes without sacrificing payload or safety. Range was the second pillar. With a certified range of nearly 4,000 nautical miles at full payload, the 757 opened up non-stop connections from the United States East Coast to Western Europe. That feat, at the time, required either a wide-body or a fuel stop. When regulatory changes later allowed twin-engine jets to cross the Atlantic under ETOPS 120 and ETOPS 180 rules, the design of the 757 suddenly became even more valuable. Airlines could schedule direct flights from cities like Boston or Manchester to London, Paris, or Reykjavik, using runways that would ground a 767 or A330. Inside, the 757-200 could be certified for up to 228 passengers in a high-density, single-aisle configuration. This was not just a theoretical maximum. Delta, Icelandair, and several charter operators routinely installed 228 seats, meeting all emergency egress and weight and balance requirements. The cabin cross-section and exit layout allowed for rapid evacuation and efficient boarding, while the airframe structural limits kept the aircraft within safe margins at full load. No other narrowbody has managed to combine these three elements: short runway agility, true transatlantic range, and high single-aisle capacity, without trade-offs. Modern replacements either need longer runways, sacrifice seats for range, or cannot match the 757 climb performance. The result is a technical paradox, an aircraft built for a market that lost interest, yet whose unique specs keep it flying decades after the last one left the factory. The 757 wing and flap system, certified field length, and dense cabin layout remain unmatched, making it structurally irreplaceable in the fleets that still depend on it. Boeing 757 arrived in 1982 with a rare promise: a single-aisle jet that could handle short runways, cross the Atlantic, and carry up to 228 passengers. For a time, it filled a gap no other aircraft could. In 1995, Boeing delivered 61 of them, with a backlog peaking at 447. Orders poured in from Delta, United, and British Airways. But the market was shifting. Airlines began favoring smaller, more efficient 737s for short routes, and larger wide-bodies like the 767 and the 777 for long haul. The 757, once the bridge between these worlds, found itself squeezed out. Airbus pressed its advantage. The A321, launched in 1994, offered a lower price and the appeal of fleet commonality with the A320 family. For many European carriers, the economics of a single-type fleet outweighed the 757's performance edge. Meanwhile, Boeing's own 737 family kept expanding, with new models steadily encroaching on the 757's territory. Efficiency and operating costs became the deciding factors, and the 757's unique capabilities started to look less essential on airline balance sheets. By 1999, annual deliveries had dropped to 15. United, once a major customer, cut its orders and shifted to the 767 and the 777. British Airways and Japan Airlines cancelled or converted their remaining orders, citing strategic moves to the A321 and the 777-200ER. By 2002, fewer than 30 aircraft remained in the backlog. Boeing faced a choice. The company was investing heavily in the next generation of wide-bodies, the 777 and the ambitious 787 Dreamliner. Engineering teams were reassigned and R&D budgets redirected. The 757 line was left to run out, with no costly refresh or new engine program in sight. On January 23, 2004, the last 757 rolled off the Everett line, destined for UPS. Production stopped at 1,050 aircraft built. The decision was driven by commercial logic, not sentiment. Yet, as airlines would soon discover, nothing else could quite match the 757's blend of range, capacity, and runway performance. Its continued presence in fleets worldwide is less about nostalgia than about a gap that never truly closed. In 1990, the Federal Aviation Administration granted the Boeing 757 a new kind of passport, ETOPS 120 certification. This approval allowed the 757 to fly routes up to 120 minutes from the nearest suitable diversion airport, effectively opening up the North Atlantic to twin-engine jets for the first time. The decision was not arbitrary. Regulators demanded proof, an in-flight engine shutdown rate below 0.04 per 10,000 hours, backed by a 30-month reliability demonstration. Boeing's engineers delivered, and the 757's Pratt & Whitney and Rolls-Royce engines met the threshold with room to spare. 5 years later, the bar was raised again. In 1995, the FAA and EASA expanded the envelope to ETOPS 180, pushing the diversion window to 3 hours. Now, a 757 could fly almost any Atlantic crossing, including routes from secondary airports that were off-limits to previous generations of narrowbodies. This regulatory shift did not just recognize technical achievement, it made the 757's unique hardware commercially viable. Airlines could finally schedule direct flights from places like Boston or Manchester to Europe, using a single-aisle jet that did not need the fuel reserves or crew costs of a wide body. The rules rewarded reliability and created a new economic logic, a jet that could fill every seat, depart short runways, and cross oceans without backup engines. The 757's certification under ETOPS 120 and later ETOPS 180 transformed it from a domestic workhorse into the backbone of thin transatlantic markets, a role no other narrowbody could fill at the time. Today, the legacy of those regulatory decisions still shapes airline strategy, keeping the 757 flying long after its production line went dark. Airlines keep more than 500 Boeing 757s in service for reasons that have little to do with nostalgia and everything to do with the bottom line. The math is blunt. A Boeing 757 burns about 0.055 kilograms of fuel per seat kilometer, higher than the latest Airbus A321XLR or Boeing 737 MAX 10, which clock in closer to 0.045 and 0.050 respectively. But the 757's larger cabin changes the equation. Fill 228 seats, and the fuel cost per passenger narrows to a margin that newer jets cannot always beat, especially on routes with consistent demand. Delta and United, the two largest 757 operators, run a combined 157 jets on routes that reward capacity and flexibility. For Delta, 127 of those airplanes mean the ability to serve both crowded hubs and secondary airports without splitting the fleet or sacrificing revenue. United's cost models show that while each 757 flight carries a maintenance premium, about $700 more per hour than an Airbus A321XLR, The potential revenue uplift from extra seats and cargo space often outweighs the penalty. On high-density routes, the break-even load factor for a 757 can dip below 70%, thanks to ancillary revenue from baggage and premium seating. Crew and airport costs run higher as well, with the 757 needing more attendance and paying slightly steeper landing fees due to its weight. Yet airlines keep renewing airworthiness certificates and investing in heavy checks because no other narrowbody offers the same blend of range, payload, and runway flexibility. The result is a paradoxical fleet: aging, expensive to maintain, but still economically rational, especially when newer jets cannot quite take the same missions. For now, the numbers keep the 757 in the air, not sentiment. Airlines searching for a true 757 successor have found only partial solutions. The Airbus A321XLR, brought to market with fanfare, promises long range but brings its own set of compromises. Its typical layout tops out at 190 seats, far short of the 757's 228-seat, high-density configuration. To reach its advertised range, the A321XLR must limit payload, often forcing airlines to leave seats unsolved or reduce cargo. On full transatlantic missions, operators face tough choices: either fill the cabin and cut back on fuel, or take the fuel and leave revenue behind. For routes that need both range and high capacity, the numbers simply do not add up the way they do on a 757. Boeing's answer was the new midsize airplane, a clean sheet design intended to bridge the gap. The NMA was supposed to seat between 220 and 260 passengers and fly faster and farther than any current single-aisle jet. Yet by July 2024, the program was cancelled. The reasons ran deeper than engineering. Engine suppliers hesitated, seeing no clear business case for a new power plant. Airlines, still cautious after years of industry upheaval, balked at the uncertain economics and delivery timelines. Boeing's own board cited insufficient market demand and a development cost that could not be justified by projected sales. With the NMA gone and the A321XLR unable to match the 757's full mission profile, the gap remains. No current aircraft combines runway performance, payload, and range in a single aisle frame the way the 757 does. The result is a paradox. The market that once abandoned the 757 now depends on its unique capabilities, with no clean successor in sight. Boeing ended the 757 in 2004 as orders vanished. Yet today, 525 still fly missions no modern jet can match. The market rejected what airlines now can't replace: a narrowbody that can operate from a 6,200-foot runway and carry 228 passengers, a transatlantic workhorse. Structural irreplaceability isn't nostalgia. It's the unsolved puzzle shaping aviation's future. What fills this gap next?